TV family suffered a tragedy. Matt Roloff, the patriarch of the Oregon family, prematurely said goodbye to his younger brother Josh in a heartbreaking loss. Radar Online revealed in 2016. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Matt, one of the family members who was born with dwarfism, talked about the tragedy in the 2007 book, Little People, Big Values. Josh was born 2 years after Matt and faced a complicated birth just like his big brother. Matt suffers from dystrophic dwarfism, which affects his leg, arm, shoulder, hip, and knee. Josh, however, was born with an obstruction that affected his heart and lungs. It would ultimately lead to his untimely death at 34 years old. A great son, brother, uncle, and friend who was with us in this life for far too short a time, the family said in a statement when Josh died in 1999, per Radar Online. We all miss you and think of you every day, and we look forward to being reunited with you one day in the presence of our Lord. Matt continued to discuss his younger brother in another book, Tall Odds, being a David and a Goliath world, which was cited in a 2017 article by Radar Online. Doctors didn't expect Josh to make it out of the hospital alive, let alone live until he was 34 years old. Not long after the delivery, the doctors diagnosed Josh as having severe heart and lung problems they thought would probably take his life before he was a day old, Matt penned in his book. 2 weeks later, and just before Christmas in 1964, Josh went home to be with his family. Josh underwent several surgeries throughout his life before doctors discovered his condition could not be fixed. He's had many close calls with death, and Mom has had to resuscitate him more times than she cares to remember. Matt recalled about his brother. Many times Josh's heart and lungs have simply stopped functioning on their own, and on other occasions, he's had seizures that would have taken his life had someone not been there to help him. The family has changed since Little People, Big World first debuted in 2006, but they're continuing with the show. Season 22, slated to premiere on May 11, 2021, will focus on Matt running the family's Oregon farm during the coronavirus pandemic and without the help of Amy, as noted by Oregon Live. The couple is now officially divorced and both have moved on with other partners. This season is going to focus on Amy's engagement to fiancé Chris Marek and planning their wedding on the farm with Matt's help. Another big storyline revolves around Zach, who now has a family of his own, and whether he wants to help his father run the farm. Zach now has 2 children of his own who may need to undergo corrective surgeries, just as he, his father, and his uncle did as children. Watch Season 22 of Little People, Big World when it airs Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on TLC to find out what happens. Stone Zach and I have been talking a lot about what it would be like to raise our kids on the farm. Tori Roloff says in a sneak peek at Tuesday's premiere of Little People, Big World by Natalie Stone. Zach Roloff may one day be following in his father Matt Roloff's footsteps. In People's exclusive sneak peek at Tuesday's Little People, Big World premiere, TLC audiences catch up with Zach, his wife Tori Roloff, and their 2 children, son Jackson, 3, and daughter Lila, who turns 2 in November, who have all had a pretty busy summer as a family while staying close to their Oregon home amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Understandably, being parents of a toddler and an infant definitely has its challenges, admits Tori. 2 kids on different schedules, different eating schedules, napping schedules. They both want your full attention, but it's fun. When it comes to keeping their toddler entertained, Jackson enjoys spending time outside on his scooter, an activity he's able to do with the older kids because he can keep up with them, Tori tells cameras. He's fast on it, and he's good. While sitting outside on their front lawn with Lila and their dog, the topic of the couple raising their children on the Roloff family farm comes up. While Tori points out that Jackson wouldn't be able to scooter around on the farm like he does in their neighborhood, Zach is confident that the little boy could. In front of the house, the pavement there, he says, going on to tell Tori that they could pave all of it like it used to be. We could do that again. That could be one of our enhancements. Following Matt and wife Amy Roloff's divorce, the family matriarch moved off the property, where the former couple raised their 4 children, twins Jeremy and Zach, 30, daughter Molly, 27, and youngest child Jacob, 24, and into her own home, where she is now creating space for fiancé Chris Marek. Meanwhile, Matt is still running and living on the farm. My dad owns the property by himself, and I think he's been enjoying kind of having the place to himself as well. And my mom's settling into her new house, Zach says in a confessional. My mom and dad still co-own the north side of the property, but if I know my dad, he's got his wheels turning about what happens next, he continues. Like his father, Zach also has his wheels turning about the future, specifically him possibly buying out Amy's remaining portion of the property. When my mom moved off the farm, I put my hat in the ring to possibly buy her out on the north side, he tells viewers. We've tabled the discussion for now, though, because our long-term farm employee decided to rent out the house for a few months. Zach and I have been talking a lot about what it would be like to raise our kids on the farm, adds Tori. However, I don't think I'm comfortable with Jackson getting a four-wheeler at 4 years old, a pitch made by Zach, who teases, I'm okay at age 5. Little People, Big World premieres Tuesday at 9 p.m. ET on TLC. Little People, Big World has long been a staple in reality television, documenting the lives of the Roloff family since 2006. What began as an educational and heartfelt insight into the daily lives of a family dealing with dwarfism quickly grew into a multi-season journey filled with love, conflict, joy, and heartbreak. While many fans associate the series with family milestones, weddings, and the infamous Roloff farms, some of the show's most emotional moments have come through personal loss. Death is an inevitable part of life, and in a show that spans nearly 2 decades, it was only natural that the Roloff family would face their share of grief. Whether the losses occurred before the show aired or during its run, the Roloffs have not shied away from sharing those painful chapters with their viewers. Fans have cried alongside them and admired their strength in the face of unimaginable pain. In this article, we take a deep dive into the lives lost within the Roloff family and those close to them, examining how these losses shaped the show, the family, and the community of fans who followed them every step of the way. From immediate family members to beloved pets, Little People, Big World has dealt with grief both in front of the camera and away from it. One of the most heart-wrenching family losses actually occurred before Little People, Big World even began airing. Josh Roloff, the lesser-known member of the Roloff family, was the second child of Peggy and Ron Roloff, making him Matt Roloff's brother. Unlike his brother, Josh was not a part of the reality show, having passed away in 1999 at the age of 34. Born with severe disabilities, Josh was born with a severe form of heart and lung malfunction, a condition that significantly affected his quality of life. Despite his medical challenges, Josh lived a full life and was close to his family. His condition required him to live in a group home where he could receive the medical care he needed. Matt has spoken emotionally about Josh's life, noting how it inspired him to keep pushing forward despite his own physical challenges. In interviews, Matt has said that Josh's courage deeply impacted the Roloff family, and he has credited his brother for inspiring the perseverance that Matt later modeled for his own children. Although Josh's death was never a major storyline on Little People, Big World, his memory lived on through the family's work and values. Fans only learned about Josh after a few seasons of the show, when Matt briefly opened up about his brother's life and passing. It was a quiet moment of vulnerability that revealed the family's long-standing history of enduring hardship. Josh Roloff's death may have occurred before cameras followed the family, but his legacy is felt in the emotional strength Matt displayed throughout the series. One of the most painful and public losses for the Roloff family came in August 2021, when Matt Roloff's father, Ronald Papa Roloff, passed away at the age of 84. This was the first major death covered directly on social media and publicly mourned by the family across their platforms. Ronald was a father of 4, grandfather, and great-grandfather who had a significant influence on Matt's life. He was featured in several episodes of Little People, Big World, and was loved by fans for his warmth and traditional values. Papa Roloff represented the strength and stability of the Roloff family foundation. In his final years, Ron battled chronic lymphocytic leukemia (CLL) and had a long journey of treatment. Matt often updated fans about his father's condition, especially in the months leading up to his death. When Ron passed away, Matt posted an emotional tribute on Instagram. A sad week for the Roloff family. My dad, lovingly known as Papa to his 10 grandchildren and his 10 great-grandkids, peacefully went home to be with his Lord and Savior yesterday evening. Matt shared stories of how Ronald supported him throughout life, especially as he dealt with his own medical conditions. The tribute also acknowledged the love Ronald had for his wife, Peggy, who survived him. Fans poured in their condolences, and the entire Roloff family grieved publicly, marking one of the most poignant moments in the show's legacy. In September 2019, Amy Roloff lost her mother, Patricia Knight, at the age of 86. The timing was especially difficult as Amy was navigating her engagement to Chris Marek and transitioning away from the farm after divorcing Matt. Amy's mother had been in declining health for a while and was living in Michigan. Amy flew home to be with her mother in her final days and later shared a touching tribute with fans. "Mom, you left us and went to live with Jesus. My heart broke. I wasn't ready for you to go, but I know you're in a better place." The loss was particularly hard for Amy because it came just months after she announced her engagement. What should have been one of the happiest times in her life was tinged with sorrow. Amy shared stories about her mom's resilience, faith, and support. Patricia had always been one of Amy's biggest champions, especially given Amy's experiences growing up with dwarfism. Amy reflected on how her mother never treated her any differently and encouraged her to pursue her dreams, something that ultimately contributed to her decision to take part in a reality TV show and later start her own brand. In 2008, Little People, Big World fans were shocked to learn about the death of Mike Detchen, a close friend of the family. Mike was not a family member, but he was well known to fans as one of Matt Roloff's best friends and a major contributor to the construction projects on the farm. Mike's sudden passing. Mike passed away suddenly from a heart condition. His death was unexpected, and the family dedicated 2 episodes of Season 4 to honoring him. Matt and the boys built a soccer field in Mike's honor, and the episodes became some of the most emotional of the entire series. Zach and Jeremy, who had grown close to Mike through his mentoring, were particularly affected. Mike's death was a major turning point in the show, proving that Little People, Big World was not just about life's lighthearted moments, but also about real grief. While not human family members, pets often feel like close companions, and for the Roloffs, their dogs were no exception. 2 particular pet deaths impacted the family deeply. Felix, 2021. Amy's dog, Felix, passed away shortly before her wedding to Chris Marek. Amy was devastated, as Felix had been her companion through some of the most difficult years of her life. She shared a tearful Instagram message, noting how the dog helped her navigate divorce, moving out, and finding love again. Sully, 2017. Tori and Zach's dog, Sully, passed away in 2017. Tori shared how deeply connected she felt to Sully and how he had been there for some of their biggest life moments, including their marriage and the birth of their first child, Jackson. Jacob Roloff's wife, Isabel Rock, also experienced profound personal loss, which she has occasionally shared with fans. Losing her brother and mother. Isabel lost her brother in a tragic train accident, and later, she lost her mother to breast cancer. These events happened before and during her relationship with Jacob and left a deep impact on her. Though Jacob is no longer part of the show, their family still draws interest from longtime viewers. Isabel uses her social media to reflect on grief and healing, often opening up about trauma and honoring the memory of her loved ones. The Roloffs have shared some of their darkest moments with millions of viewers. Unlike typical families who mourn in private, their losses have become part of a shared experience with fans. This open approach has made them more relatable and has built a deep emotional bond between the Roloffs and their audience. Fans have expressed how the family's handling of grief has helped them navigate their own personal losses. From Instagram tributes and emotional episodes to blog posts and interviews, The Roloffs have shown that grief doesn't have to be hidden. In the nearly 2 decades that Little People, Big World has been on the air, the Roloff family has experienced incredible highs and heartbreaking lows. The deaths of Josh Roloff, Ronald Roloff, Patricia Knight, and close friend Mike Detchen remind us all that no matter how successful, loved, or famous someone is, grief is universal. Through it all, the Roloffs have remained honest, open, and vulnerable, showing their viewers that strength is not about hiding pain, but about living through it. Their journey through loss continues to inspire fans across the world, making Little People, Big World not just a show about little people, but about big hearts, enduring love, and the reality of life and death.